Good morning, it's Jeff Altman, the Big Game Hunter. Guess what today is? Monday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. And that translates into a dose of no BS job search advice. It's a time where I like to spend about 15 minutes speaking with you about some element of job hunting in order to help you find work more easily. It doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult or painful or take a long time. It's just you need to work on the skills to find a job, just like you have the skills needed to do the job. And this show, my other one, which is called Job Search Radio, which is also in iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, and a host of other podcast directories. It's also on the web on webtalkradio.net. Again, not .com, webtalkradio.net. Are all designed to help you. So sit back, listen, learn, start to apply some of the things that I try to teach in these podcasts, my e-zine, and a host of other places. Now, this show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is a site where you can order audiobooks. And as a matter of fact, there's a trial that's available at audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. If you sign up for a free trial of Audible, they'll also give you a free audiobook as part of that trial. So again, audibletrial.com/thebiggamehunter. My other sponsor is consultingassignments.com, which is a site where you can find and fill consulting assignments, full-time consulting positions, temp to perm, and contract to hire opportunities anywhere in the world, completely free. Posting a job or a resume is free. Searching jobs and resumes is also free, as is the ability to contact one another. The only thing the site charges for is if you want to feature a job or a resume, it is $10 for 30 days. Ooh, very expensive, $10 for 30 days. And if you want to feature more than one position, they'll take the cost down from there and extend the advertising to 45 days. So again, consultingassignments.com. So I thought I would do a show about working with recruiters. And I'll simply say it's a topic I don't address very often because given what my profession is, I am a recruiter, I don't like to make the show seem as though it's addressing my vested interests. I try to teach elements of job search every week. And every once in a while, I stick in a show about working with recruiters. And guess what? This is the week. So I thought about talking with you about how to be effective in working with a third-party recruiter. Now, I'll start by saying there is a difference between a contingency and a retained search firm. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. A contingency firm is paid upon successful completion of the search. A retained firm is paid a portion of the search fee in advance, a portion at the time that they're scheduling interviews, and the balance upon completion. Generally, a firm that works exclusively on retainer is working with higher level positions. Most of you are going to be in the contingency bracket because firms are not often paying a retainer for a $150,000 person or a $175,000 person or a $75,000 person. So for most of you, the distinguishing characteristic is irrelevant. So you'll probably be talking with contingency recruiters primarily. So let me just start by saying that there are three jokes in the recruiting profession. How can you tell a job applicant is lying to you? Their lips are moving. How can you tell a client or future employer is lying to you? Their lips are moving. And of course, how can you tell a recruiter is lying to you? You guessed it, their lips are moving. Now, this is my way of saying everyone, including you, is posturing for advantage. You may expose one of the misstatements, to use a term that politicians sometimes will use when they're caught in a lie. You may expose a misstatement that a recruiter makes, but frankly, they pick up on quite a few of yours, but they're not calling you on it very often. So recognize that everyone is trying to posture. And yes, you can find a job without using a recruiter, but many firms want to use them because we save them time and money, and both of those are values to them. So even though you can do it without them, there's really no reason to close your doors to working with one. You may have had bad experiences in the past, but at the end of the day, a quality recruiter is going to be worth a lot to you, not just simply on this job change, but on every job change you're involved with going forward. Now, you may have experiences where you've sent a resume to a recruiter and they never get back to you. And I can't tell you so many times people whine to me about some other recruiter who didn't get back or that I didn't get back. And the fact of the matter is, the reason I don't get back is because you didn't do a good enough job of explaining how you fit the requirement that you submitted your resume for. In other words, your resume stinks in the context of the job that's involved. And given my schedule, I don't have time to get back to everyone who flips a resume to me like it's a burger at a fast food restaurant because they think they'd like to do that job, even though, and I had this happen recently, a person applies for head of e-commerce for a retailer and their background is as a cashier, which makes them qualified. How? I don't know, but they thought they might like to do this job. And I don't have the time to call them or even, use a couple of keystrokes to reply back to this spammer for having wasted my time. So, understand that recruiters can't get back to everyone, and it's your responsibility if you're submitting a resume to demonstrate your fit. Now, one of the things that, again, recruiters are criticized for is they sound like they don't know what they're talking about. And what may be going on is you're speaking to a relative junior in the office who doesn't know what they're talking about. You may think that they're the right person to speak with, and maybe they are. But your first reaction to them is they're ignorant, foolish, say dumb stuff, and the client may like them. It doesn't mean that they, from the client's vantage point, that they're incompetent. But from yours, you may have your BS detector go off, and that's a good thing to do. So recruiters have access to firms that are hiring, have relationships that can provide you with entree, and can manage the logistics of your calendar. And those are great qualities. A capable recruiter, and I'll use myself as an example, will negotiate compensation for you and take the brunt of that negotiation so that when you join a new firm, you arrive with the halo. So, number one thing I want to remind you of, because again, people foolishly will yell at recruiters. I've been yelled at for nonsense, but I'm a human being. I'm not a slave to be ordered around or yelled at. You may disagree with things that I may say, and that's okay. But it doesn't mean you yell at someone. Do you want me to yell at you all the time? No, of course not. You have emailed a resume to a recruiter and may hate and send hate mail about how. Well, let me back up for a second. Many times I hear the brunt of what other people experience with recruiters. Hold your temper. You don't like being yelled at by your boss. We all make mistakes, even headhunters. So we're human beings. So be kind to us. Teach us what we need to know about you. Because at the end of the day, we're all trying to earn a living. We're all trying to earn a fee. We're all trying to make our client and you happy. So if we have a misstatement, if we make a mistake, at the end of the day, don't yell. Teach us. Another thing is, you got to remember recruiters don't work for you. After all, how much are you paying for this, right? So we're working for employers because they're the ones that are paying us. We're being paid to fill positions, not place people in jobs. Now, working with you and understanding your needs and wants are important in this, but it starts off with you understanding that we're trying to fill a position and make it easy for us to see the fit. Teach us how you fit the role. Pretend we're like my son was, a person with not a lot of attention who's trying to do the best that they can. Make the fit obvious. After all, we don't really work for you. We work for our corporate clients. Well, the decision we make is whether to refer you to the client. That's our big decision. You want to make that obvious. We don't get you hired. You do that. So along the way, what I'm trying to get across to you is you have the responsibility to demonstrate fit, to show that you interview well, that you have the knowledge and skills needed to do the job. Let me give you an example of how that doesn't work. I sent a direct mail piece out to people in my database for a CIO search I'm doing for a client. And I received so many responses back of individuals who in no way, shape, or form fit the requirement, who would say in their emails, hey, I'm a perfect fit. Well, all these perfect fits did was make themselves look like a fool, because this CIO, alleged CIO, may never been near a C-suite, and it was very clear that's what the client was looking for. They wanted someone who'd served in this role before, someone who'd been in the education space. So when all is said and done, you may think you fit the job, but you have to demonstrate that fit to us. You have to do some basic interviewing with us in a way that allows us to see clearly how you fit the role. You want to use the message area of your email like you would a cover letter, to talk with us about your background and how it fits the role. You can use what's called, or create what's called, a T-square. So on one side of the T is the skill being sought that you've heard that we're looking for. On the other side is what you've done that fits that requirement. So excuse me, I did it backward for video. On the left is this current, the skill being sought. On the right is the skill, the experience that you have related to it. So again, make the fit obvious. And also, when you receive the phone call, track every resume. Before you receive phone calls, track your resumes that you've sent out. Because when the phone rings, you may say to them, can we schedule a time to speak? Isn't it a great time for me right now? Do you have time in about an hour? Because I want to make sure you review the job description before you get on the phone with that recruiter, so that this way you're able to demonstrate the fit by reviewing the position and preparing yourself for the call. So that's my advice about working with recruiters. Make the fit obvious. Understand that their one task is to evaluate, assess, and refer. That's the first decision that they make. Almost every other decision is being made by the client. So if you found this show helpful, I encourage you, come over to my website, which is thebiggamehunter.us, and go exploring, because there's information there that you can watch, listen to, or read that will help you find work more quickly. You can also search positions I'm recruiting for, find out about my books and guides to job hunting, other people's books and guides. A lot of good information at my website, so go over and go explore. A few final things. First of all, if your current firm is trying to hire someone, send me an email at jeffaltman@thebiggamehunter.us. Let me know who to contact and whether I should mention your name. I'd love to help your firm staff positions. And also, resumes these days need to be perfect. And let me critique your resume. Order a critique from my website. I'd be happy to look it over and get back to you with some changes. This is Jeff Altman. Hope you enjoyed today's show. Hope you have a great day. Take care.